The Last of Us TV series review roundup, the TV show changes the game's lore, Neil Druckmann less interested in traditional narrative, The Last of Us mod changes Ellie into Bella Ramsey, all that and more in today's PlayStation news focused on The Last of Us. Let's get into them. The Last of Us TV series review roundup. The Last of Us TV series aims to be one of the best game adaptations yet, and the first reviews confirm they have achieved that promise. The Rotten Tomatoes score opened on Tuesday to 100% with 28 reviews, and as of this recording is sitting at 97% with 59 reviews. IGN's Simon Cardy gave it a 9 out of 10, saying it's a stunning adaptation that should thrill newcomers and enrich those already familiar with Joel and Ellie's journey alike. Then Daniel D'Addario from Variety pointed out that what works about The Last of Us works well enough that one sees the near future in which the show winds up among television's best. Next is comicbook.com's Logan Moore indicating the show is to be praised for helping break the video game adaptation curse that has permeated for decades. For new audiences, The Last of Us is very much worth viewing as its story is still gripping even when told through a new medium. Judy Berman from Time Magazine highlighted the show's aesthetic, but was worried about the stuff we have already seen in similar shows, saying that from performances to the storytelling to the aesthetic elements is an exquisitely made adaptation, but it also asks viewers to absorb a whole lot of misery without saying much that we haven't already heard in similar shows. As per Hollywood reporter Dan Fingberg, you won't need a gas mask to watch the show, since viewers won't be bored to death by this effectively frightful adaptation. There are only 2 negative reviews, at least as of this recording, and included Pat Brown from Slant Magazine, who said that by stripping the gameplay out of a game that's fleshed out by televisual tropes, the series ends up as mostly just the latter. Co-created by Chernobyl's Craig Mazin and original game director Neil Druckmann, The Last of Us TV series Season 1 consists of 9 episodes starring Pedro Pascal as Joel and Bella Ramsey as Ellie, and premieres on HBO this Sunday, January 15. Will you be watching? Let us know in the comments below or vote in the poll on the community tab. The Last of Us TV show changes the game's lore. If you're watching The Last of Us TV series this Sunday, don't be surprised when the infection is told not to be transmitted airborne by spores as in the game. Naughty Dog Central posted an unused line of dialogue from the TV series where it's mentioned that tendrils are what spread the infection in the world of the series.
Tendrils.
What are those things? The fungus. It grows these tendrils. The smallest touch and they snap back like a whip. It can break your arm. Oh, awesome.
In recent interviews, both Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann have referenced that the change was in part due to the real-world experience we have just had with the pandemic, but also so that the cast didn't have to wear masks while filming. In turn, the infected will become sort of an interconnected network that's passed from one to the other like fungus. Again, this is an adaptation, so there will be changes to the game to make it work in a new medium, and from what's gathered in reviews, it doesn't seem to affect that much. What do you think about these changes to the lore of the game? Sound off in the comments. Neil Druckmann less interested in traditional narrative. Neil Druckmann continues promoting The Last of Us TV series, and in an interview with the Washington Post has talked about how he views narrative storytelling in games and its evolution over the years. He mentions that he is interested in less direct approaches to video game storytelling, which arguably dates back to the 1980s game Adventure. I'm more recently intrigued by stuff like Elden Ring and Inside that don't rely as much on traditional narrative to tell a story. He continued, I think some of the best storytelling in The Last of Us, yes, a lot of it is in the cinematics, but a lot of it is in the gameplay and moving around the space and understanding a history of a space by just looking at it and examining it. Druckmann explained right now he gets the best joy at playing those games that trust their audience in figuring things out and don't hold their hand. However, it doesn't mean their future games will be like that. He further referred to the multiple ways to tell a narrative. I think those are tools in your toolbox, and it's about how to use all these different aspects. Some of it from other media, some of it found notes and environmental storytelling. And then on how the Naughty Dog team is approaching trying new things. I think there's a way to push that stuff forward, at least for the kind of games we make at Naughty Dog. I'm really intrigued, we're never resting on our laurels, and trying something a little bit new, a little bit different that not everyone's going to like, but that's okay. He also said the teams at Naughty Dog are very excited by the different projects they have at the studio. The interest in this approach to storytelling is shared by co-workers in the studio, with Factions co-director Vinit Agarwal tweeting about a talk with Elden Ring's Miyazaki-san on trusting the player more as it allows for a more fulfilling design for both players and developers. I personally prefer the traditional narrative with cinematics instead of more lore-based games, but as Druckmann says, it's just different tools creators have, and I appreciate when a narrative game expands immersion with storytelling through environment design and collectibles. What do you think about Druckmann wanting to try new styles of narrative in their games? Which style do you prefer, cinematic or lore-based? Voice your opinion in the comments below. The Last of Us mod changes Ellie into Bella Ramsey. With the release of The Last of Us HBO, it would have been cool for Naughty Dog to launch skins for the newly released The Last of Us Part 1, but since that doesn't seem to be happening, modders got your back. A Last of Us Part 2 mod from artist Alejandro Bielsa, known as Bontade, who works at Playground Games, modified Ellie's face shape to Bella's. YouTuber Speclizer shows the mod on video, and it looks really cool, albeit with some weirdness in the model during animations while talking, since they couldn't be modified to match the new model. You can find the link to the full video in the description. And we'll probably see a lot more mods based on TV series characters or any others once The Last of Us Part 1 launches on PC this March 3rd. Which characters would you like to see mods for in the games? Let us know in the comments. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. What are your thoughts on them? Share them in the comments below, let me know your feedback by liking or disliking this video, check out other videos you may enjoy while you're here, and consider subscribing for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name's Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!